Alright, before we start the episode, I just want to say I was wrong. Natsu did not take out the god in one punch. He took it out in two. What's up, guys? Steel Frodo here, and yes, this was the episode to finish up, I'm assuming finish up the whole Avatar bit, but it might be, I could be wrong, I have no idea. It looks like we're going to learn more about Zeref next episode, but this episode was the wrap-up, it seemed, to all the Avatar nonsense, and a reunion with a couple of old fairy tale wizards, which was really awesome. I was super, super excited to see where this episode went, and it didn't disappoint. So, kicking it right off, we picked up where they had left off beforehand, as they do with every episode like this, where we picked up seeing where they were right up to the point of defeating the last wizard, the old guy who we learned burned his face off in order to be able to summon Itsatsunagi, one of the gods of war. And yeah, so there was that. Natsu, oh god, I love Natsu so much in these series because he's just so stupid powerful. So Natsu's of course ready to square off with this guy, and this guy is a dark wizard, so he's throwing, like, I guess dark energy things at it, Natsu, and Natsu just literally bats them away. So then the Dark Wizard pulls up these, like, impenetrable walls or impenetrable, shield glass things that the Dark Wizard's, I keep calling him the Dark Wizard because I don't remember his name, but his magic goes through, but Natsu can't come the other way. And Natsu breaks it, not with, I'd like to point out, not with his shoulder or a fist. It starts cracking at his face, on his cheek, which is kind of funny, the fact that Natsu breaks through it with just his cheek. And then after that, the guy throws up more, and Natsu just busts through all of them and takes this guy out in one punch. A very powerful Iron Fist, the Fire Dragon Iron Fist, and yeah, he was out. But by taking him out, that did not mean that Natsu had ended everything. So at this point, the guy summons Itsatsunagi, who is, like, the scale for him was kind of weird because his sword and he were big enough that Natsu could run up the edge of the sword after the dude struck the ground, which, actually, before I talk about what Natsu did to this guy, let's talk about the actual plan for purification with what this guy was planning. So we find out the actual purification plan was not really the village. The village was like a bonus. It was actually all the members of Avatar that were going to be sacrificed, and then the village was going to be the next thing. Everybody who was in that area, the god of war was going to kill. So yeah, a little bit of detail that was left out. Would have been nice to know, but clearly by the reaction of everybody else in Avatar, except the old man, everybody else was kind of also in the dark with that. They didn't really understand that they were going to be sacrificed, and Natsu didn't take too kindly to that because, of course, to everyone, for Natsu, everybody who is working with somebody else is friends, it seems like. He's like, you're doing this to your friends! And yeah, Natsu didn't take too kindly to that, so he ran up the blade, and this is where the scale got kind of weird because the size of this dude, like, his foot crushed, like, probably about 30 people, and then the sword was big enough that Natsu could run up the blade edge to the guy, and then the arm was, like, the guy should have been, like, Natsu should have been, like, that big on the guy's arm, like, this tiny, tiny little thing on the guy's arm, but he gets on his head, and suddenly his scale is way smaller. Like, that's just a continuity thing for me that kind of seemed a little weird. I don't know why, but yeah, so he runs up the guy's arm and goes to punch him, and he takes one punch, and it, like, you see this big explosion, but it wasn't actually, like, super effective. But he did go and take another punch at this guy, and that was what did him in. And it was the Fire Dragon King Destruction Fist, which is, I guess, a technique or something that Natsu inherited from Igni. He said that my father gave me these flames, so it's like, I guess that was his, like, ability passed on now, so Natsu now has an ability that can destroy a god, which is funny to think about that Natsu killed a god in the series, but in this same world there's actually God Slayer magic, which is different from Dragon Slayer magic. Dragon Slayer magic is the element of that dragon used against that dragon, whereas God Slayer magic, it seems like, is similar in the elemental properties, but also uses, like, a different form of, like, magic. Like, the effects they use are different. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to see the fact that now powerful enough Fire Dragon magic can take out a god. So yeah, of course, after the whole fight is over, everybody starts running away. Not the fairy tale group, but everybody, all the Avatar members start running away. And sure enough, here comes Gagio, Levy, Panther Lily, and the entire council's custody division. And so we see this really awesome reunion. So we've got Levy and Lucy. Lucy apparently also knew that Levy, like there were rumors that Levy was in the working for the council, but way to act on those, Lucy. You definitely didn't act on those as you should have, but at this point, everybody's just kind of showing up, and they don't really have to do any lead following, so whatever. Of course, then Natsu sees Levy and Panther Lily and is like, hey, you look a lot like Gagio, because nobody, well, I say nobody, but Natsu and Urza didn't believe that Gagio was working for the council. Like, he's too much of a rebel to work for the council, which is so funny to me that's like, that was their standard of just like, you're not working for the council. No, there's no way. And then Panther Lily had to say like, no, this is Gagio, and everybody was just shocked. Of course, then Gagio goes around and he's Gagio's like pointing to everybody and he's like, you're under arrest for these different reasons, and it was and then Urza just punches him in the back of the head. Oh my god, I'm so glad to see these guys together again. But yeah, so that was just one of those deals of like seeing them back together just made the episode for me. Like, I was so happy to see that because it was so cool to see the like fairy tale back together. It doesn't feel like it's been too long, like in the series, even though it's been a year break. It feels like, especially considering I went back and watched a few of the episodes and then picked up here, it definitely feels very kind of like not too long. So, but it's still, you know, they conveyed that time apart well enough that it does feel, you know, like a really good reunion to see. And then after all that, we have Sting, Rogue, Lecter, and Frosh all showing up to the battle because they were worried, but of course there was nothing to be worried about. Natsu took out the monster handily, and Fairy Tail destroyed everything with relative ease. And Frosh wandered off and came back down to meet up with the Fairy Tail group and mingle with Panther Lily and Carla and Happy. And I didn't realize, and they showed it really well, but I didn't realize how much Frosh kind of helps Rogue, you know, keep under control with his magic ability. Because, so, funny moment here, we have Gray coming up to Frosh, and of course the first thing that flashes through Natsu's head is everything from the last season with all of the tragic events of Lucy dying at the hands of future Rogue, or future Lucy dying at the hands of future Rogue, and Rogue telling Natsu that Gray's going to kill Frosh, and that kind of stuff. Like, that was what went through Natsu's head. And then, of course, the funny moment, Gray's just like, you're so adorable. Oh, my God. Like, apparently Gray is a cat person. Or, well, they said everybody thinks that Frosh is adorable, which is true. Frosh is freaking adorable.
Yep, I think so, too.
But yeah, so Rogue comes down and he's in tears. He's like, can I have him back, please? And then they show, Natsu takes a look and sees that while Frosh is being held by Rogue, Rogue's shadow goes from sort of an aggressive purple back to just a regular shadow. So yeah, Rogue is very dependent on Frosh for comfort and for control over his magic ability, which is really neat to see, actually. And Urza got denied. She got denied holding Frosh, which was really funny. But yeah, so now we're all back to, well, a big chunk of the group is back together, and now it's just a matter of going and finding the rest of Fairy Tail and figuring out why they broke up, which I'm sure Makarov's going to have some reason, or I don't know. I'm sure it would have to be Makarov because he was the one who disbanded them. So I don't know what they're going to do, but we need to see more people come together. But it looks like next episode is going to be all about the backstory, or a good backstory, of Zeref. And from the description, though they didn't show anything, from the description it sounded like a bit of a tale of Acnologia as well, because they talked about Acnologia as a dragon slayer becoming now a full-fledged dragon. So maybe we get to learn about him a bit? I don't know, but we did see a young Zeref, which looks pretty cool. So if you guys want to watch the episode itself in the reaction, it's going to be right there. And if you guys missed that, then it'll be in the link down below in the description. But leave a comment letting me know what you guys think. I do really enjoy making these review formats because it gives me a chance to kind of do a whole exposition dump of what just happened in the episode and talk about what I thought. And I really actually enjoyed this episode because, like, there were moments that just demonstrated how powerful all the characters have become, but also demonstrates that the bond hasn't changed between them, and pretty much solidifies the fact that, yeah, I think Fairy Tail is going to be coming back pretty quick. I mean, the show is called Fairy Tail. be surprised if nothing happened. But yeah, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. Anyway, like I said, links in the description. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment letting me know if you guys liked this, what you guys thought of the episode itself. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to be there and have a good one.